A. Some pairs of opposite adjectives.
Cotton is a natural material and nylon is artificial.
Red and yellow are vivid colours, while grey is a sombre colour.
You can see through a transparent material, but you can't see through an opaque material.
A machine that has no problems at all is perfect, while one that doesn't work properly is faulty.
Something that is hard and doesn't move or bend easily is stiff, while something that bends easily is flexible.
A material that can be easily spoilt by, for example, washing, can be called delicate, while something that is hard to spoil can be called tough.
A material like glass that can be easily broken can be called fragile, while something that does not break easily can be called strong or sturdy.
I prefer strong coffee to weak coffee. I can't stand coffee that has too much water or milk in it. I like to be able to really taste my coffee.
The painting is not a genuine Picasso. It's a fake. A conventional chair. A bizarre chair. A plain frame. A decorative frame.
B. Adjectives and nouns.
Adjective, decent. Noun, decency. Example: I'd like to get a table that's a decent size so we can have 10 people to a meal. Meaning: good. Entire, entirety. Between them, they ate the entire cake. Whole. Characteristic, character, characteristic. Big windows are characteristic of houses built in the early 1900s. Typical. Precise, precision. We need to take precise measurements before we decide which fridge to get. Exact. Severe, severity. It's a severe building, all concrete and straight lines. Very serious. Solid, solidity. The table is made of solid oak. Hard all through. Trivial, trivia, triviality. He doesn't write serious novels, just trivial romances. Insignificant.
The only verbs that can be formed from adjectives in the above table are characterize, solidify, and trivialize. C. Phrases typical of speech.
Did you see that great big cat run across the grass?
This photo isn't half as interesting as that one.
Jessie's car is nowhere near as powerful as mine.
Tamara makes an unusually strong cup of coffee.
It's a reasonably good piece of sculpture.
It's a pretty thick book.
A. Verbs connected with beliefs and opinions. You probably already know think and believe. Here are some more verbs.
I'm convinced we've met before. Very strong feeling that you're right.
I've always held that compulsory education is a waste of time. Used for very firm beliefs. Formal. Maintain could be used here.
She maintains that we're related, but I'm not convinced. Insists on believing, often against the evidence. Formal. Hold could not be used here.
I feel she shouldn't be forced to do the job. Strong personal opinion.
I reckon they'll get married soon. Used for an opinion about what is likely to happen or to be true. Informal.
I doubt we'll ever see total world peace. Don't believe.
I suspect a lot of people never even think about pollution when they're driving their own car. Have a strong feeling about something negative. Fairly formal.
B. Phrases for expressing opinion.
We haven't made any progress in my view. Fairly formal. We haven't made any progress in my opinion. Fairly formal.
She's made a big mistake to my mind. Fairly informal.
If you ask me, he ought to change his job. Informal.
Note how point of view is used in English.
From a teacher's point of view, the new examinations are a disaster.
C. Prepositions used with belief and opinion words.
Do you believe in life after death?
What are your views on divorce?
What do you think of the new boss?
Are you for or against long prison sentences? Neutral or informal?
I'm in favour of long prison sentences. Opposite. I'm opposed to long prison sentences. Formal.
I have my doubts about this plan.
D. Beliefs, ideologies, philosophies, convictions. If you would rather organise this word tree differently or can add more examples, do so. It will probably help you to remember the words better.
Beliefs. Ideologies. Left wing. Right wing. Socialist. Conservative. Philosophies. Intellectual. Personal. Darwinist. Vegetarian. Convictions. Religious. Moral. Muslim. Pacifist.
E. Adjectives for describing beliefs and opinions. These are in sets which have similar but not exactly the same meaning.
Fanatical or obsessive.
Eccentric or odd or weird.
Conservative or traditional.
Middle of the road or moderate.
Dedicated or committed.
Firm or strong.
Radical or extreme.
Jason is a fanatical supporter of the Green Party.
Grandpa has rather eccentric views.
Maria is a moderate liberal.
Rosie is a committed Christian.
Emma is a firm believer in free speech.
Tom is a radical Marxist.
A. Happiness and unhappiness. You feel content or contented when you are satisfied with what you have. Content is not used before a noun. You can say, she is content, or she is contented, but only a contented person.
He's very content with his life. He's always been a contented person.
You feel grateful when someone has done something thoughtful for you. Note, you feel thankful if something bad that could have happened did not happen.
I'm really grateful to you for helping me with my project.
You feel delighted when something has happened that gives you great pleasure. When you hear news of someone's good fortune, for instance.
I was delighted to hear you're getting married.
You feel miserable when everything seems wrong in your life.
I felt miserable all day yesterday. Maybe it was just the grey, cold weather.
You feel discontented when your life is not giving you satisfaction.
She's very discontented with her job and is going to look for a new one.
You feel fed up or sick and tired when you have had enough of something disagreeable.
I'm fed up with Olivia's rudeness and sick of her bad behaviour. I'm fed up with Olivia's rudeness and sick and tired of her bad behaviour.
You feel depressed when you are miserable over a long period of time. Depression is considered an illness in some severe cases.
I felt depressed after having 10 job interviews and not getting a job.
You feel confused when you cannot make sense of different conflicting feelings or ideas.
I feel so confused. Last week she said she loved me passionately. This week she said we were just good friends.
B. Excitement, upset, anger, and anxiety.
I felt inspired after the concert. I've decided to take piano lessons.
The argument I had with Eva the other night really upset me.
I was quite enthusiastic about my tennis lessons at first, but the teacher isn't very good, and now I just feel frustrated.
She was so thrilled when she got a job with a TV company. She's always wanted to work in the media.
I was so nervous before the exam, and then I felt anxious before the results came out, but I passed with a high grade.
I was furious with the waiter. The service was slow, and he spilt coffee over my shirt.
A. Words and expressions relating to liking.
Dear Anna, good to hear from you after so many years. Fancy you being married. I'm not married, but I've got a boyfriend called Tom. I must tell you about him. We've known each other for 3 years. I quite liked him when we first met, but I didn't really fancy him in any big way. I did like being with him. He fascinated me with his stories of his travels around the world, and something mysterious about his past attracted me. What's more, we were both keen on sailing. Little by little, I fell in love with him. His sense of humour appealed to me, and I was captivated by his smiling eyes. Now, 3 years later, I can't see why I didn't fall for him the moment we met. He's a very caring person, fond of animals and small children. He's always affectionate and loving towards me, and passionate both about me and about the things he believes in, and the people he cares for. I hope we'll always be as devoted to each other as we are now. Do write again soon, and tell me all about your life. Love, Amy.
B. Words and expressions relating to disliking. Loathe, detest, despise, cannot stand, and cannot bear are all stronger ways of saying dislike, and they are all followed by a noun or an ing form.
I loathe bad-mannered people. I detest bad-mannered people. I despise bad-mannered people. I can't stand bad-mannered people. I can't bear bad-mannered people.
I can't bear listening to her stupid stories.
Repel, revolt, appall, and disgust are strong words used to describe the negative effect which something has on a person.
His films disgust me.
I was revolted by the way he spoke.
We were appalled by the conditions in the refugee camp.
His behaviour repels everyone.
C. Words and expressions relating to desiring. Desire is either a formal verb to express a sexual wish for someone or a formal word for wish.
He desired her the moment he saw her.
I have a strong desire to see the Himalayas before I die.
Look forward to means think about something in the future with pleasant anticipation. It is followed by a noun or an ing form. The opposite is dread, which is rather strong.
I'm looking forward to going to Fiji, but I'm dreading the long flight.
Long for means to wish for something very much. Yearn for is a more poetic way of saying long for.
After this long, cold winter, I'm longing for spring.
He will never stop yearning for his country, although he knows he can never return.
A. Reporting verbs.
We can use these verbs to report people's speech and how they speak, including how loudly and what their mood is.
Verb, whisper. Loudness, very soft. Most likely mood, telling someone a secret. Murmur, soft. Romantic or complaining. Mumble, soft and unclear. Nervous or insecure. Mutter, soft. Irritated. Shout, loud. Angry or excited. Scream, loud, usually without words. Frightened or excited. Shriek, loud and shrill. Frightened or amused. Stutter, stammer. Neutral, nervous or excited. I'm sick of this. I'm going home, he muttered. Suddenly, someone shouted, "Help!" She whispered that she was not happy with the way the meeting was going.
B. Describing feelings. These verbs indicate the speaker's feelings or intentions. The letters SB mean someone. The letters STH mean something.
Verb, boast. Patterns, to someone about something. Feeling, proud of yourself. Complain to someone about something. Displeased. Insist on something. Determined. Maintain that. Confident. Object to, plus ing. Unhappy with a situation. Confess to, plus ing. Repentant. Threaten to do something. Aggressive. Urge someone to do something. Encouraging. Argue with someone about something. Not in agreement. Beg someone to do something. Desperate. Groan that. Despair. Pain. Grumble about something. Displeased.
C. Adverbs related to speech.
To indicate someone's feelings, you can use a speaking verb plus an adverb. For example, he said anxiously. She spoke angrily. This is common in written style.
If someone feels angry, angrily, furiously, bitterly.
If someone feels unhappy, gloomily, miserably, sadly.
If someone feels happy, happily, cheerfully, gladly, hopefully.
If someone feels worried, anxiously, nervously, desperately.
Other useful adverbs: excitedly, impatiently, reluctantly, shyly.
A. The five senses. The five senses are sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. What is sometimes referred to as a sixth sense or extrasensory perception is a power to be aware of things independently of the five physical senses, a kind of supernatural sense. The five verbs referring to the senses are modified by an adjective rather than an adverb.
He looks dreadful.
The trip sounds marvellous.
The cake tastes good.
It felt strange.
The soup smelt delicious.
B. Sight.
Yesterday, I glanced out of the window and noticed a policeman observing a house opposite through binoculars. I thought I glimpsed a man inside the house. Then I saw that there was a man peering into the window of the same house. I gazed at them, wondering what they were doing. Suddenly, the policeman stopped staring through his binoculars. He went to arrest the other man as he started to climb into the house through the window. I realized that I had witnessed a crime.
C. Hearing.
Scale of loudness. Noiseless, silent, quiet, noisy, loud, deafening.
D. Taste.
Sweet, honey,
Salty. Crisps.
Bitter, strong coffee.
Sour, vinegar.
spicy, Indian food.
If you say something tastes hot, it may mean spicy rather than not cold. If a curry, say, is not particularly hot, then it is mild.
Food can be tasty, but tasteful refers to furnishings, architecture, or a style of dressing or behaviour. The opposite of both is tasteless.
E. Touch.
She poked me in the ribs with her elbow to wake me up.
He stroked the cat and patted the dog.
She tapped him on the shoulder.
He grasped my hand and we ran.
She grabbed her phone and ran to the bus stop.
The thief snatched her handbag and disappeared into the crowd.
Press the button.
Please handle the goods with great care.
F. Smell.
Here are some adjectives to describe smells.
Very unpleasant. Stinking. Foul-smelling. Putrid. Musty. Pungent.
Pleasant. Fragrant. Aromatic. Sweet-smelling. Perfumed or scented.
G. Sixth sense.
Different phenomena which a person with a sixth sense may experience. Telepathy.
Premonition.
Intuition.
Déjà vu.
A. Verbs connected with the mouth and breathing.
Yawn. Why are you yawning? Are you feeling sleepy?
Sneeze. Dust often makes me sneeze.
Snore. He snored in his chair with his mouth wide open.
Cough. It was so smoky in the room that he couldn't stop coughing.
Sigh. She sighed with relief when she heard the plane had landed safely.
Be out of breath. I ran for the bus and now I'm out of breath.
Take a deep breath. He took a deep breath and jumped into the water.
Hold your breath. How long can you hold your breath underwater?
B. Verbs connected with eating.
Chew. My granny used to say you should chew every mouthful 10 times.
Rumble. It's embarrassing if your stomach rumbles during an interview.
Swallow. Take a drink of water to help you swallow the pills.
Suck. In an aeroplane, if you suck a sweet, it can stop your ears popping.
Lick. The cat licked the bowl clean.
Bite. Don't bite that hard sweet. You'll damage your teeth.
C. Verbs connected with the eyes and face.
Wink. He winked at me across the room to try to make me laugh.
Frown. Why are you frowning? What's the problem?
Grin. She was so delighted with the present that she grinned from ear to ear.
Blink. She blinked several times to try and get the dust out of her eye.
Blush. He blushed with embarrassment when she smiled at him.
D. Verbs connected with the whole body.
Perspire or sweat. When it's hot, you sweat or perspire. Perspire is more formal.
Shiver. Look at him. He's so cold that he's shivering.
Tremble. My hands tremble when I've been drinking too much coffee.
Shake. She laughed so much that her whole body shook.
A. Praising. You praise someone for something.
The teacher praised the children for their hard work. Highly praised is a common collocation.
William's acting in this film has been highly praised.
She plays the guitar brilliantly, just like her father.
He's the very best, a really first-rate administrator. He's the very best, a really top-notch administrator.
When it comes to grammar, she's really on the ball.
Ben has a way with foreign students. The other teachers envy him.
Emma really has green fingers. Look at those flowers.
Let him do the talking. He's got the gift of the gab.
Imogen is head and shoulders above the rest of the girls at maths. She's miles better than the other girls at maths.
When it comes to technology, Japan is streets ahead of most other countries.
As far as sport is concerned, Sam is among the best in his class.
That meal was just out of this world.
B. Criticizing.
The verb criticize can mean to say that someone or something is bad. For example, Paige's parents are always criticizing her appearance. Notice that it can also be used to mean give an opinion or judgment about a book or film. For example, I belong to a writers' group. We read and criticize each other's work.
Critical. Adjective, not pleased. 1. Saying that someone or something is bad or wrong. A critical report. The report is highly critical of safety standards at the factory. Adjective, important. 2. Of the greatest importance to the way things might happen. The President's support is critical to this project. A critical decision. Adjective, giving opinions. 3. Giving opinions or judgments on books, plays, films, etc. She has written a major critical appraisal or study of Saul Bellows' novels. His last film won or received critical acclaim. Equals was praised by film critics. Adjective, serious. 4. Extremely serious or dangerous. Both drivers are critical or in a critical condition. Equals so badly hurt that they might die. After the 120 miles per hour crash.
The adverb critically can relate to any of these four meanings of critical, although the following are the most frequent uses. Critically important, meaning 2. Critically acclaimed, meaning 3. Critically ill, meaning 4.
Note these idiomatic synonyms of the verb to criticize with its meaning of saying something is bad. You shouldn't run down your own country when you're abroad. Why do you always have to pick holes in everything I say?
Here are some criticisms of people. I think Antonio's being totally absurd. You are undoubtedly at fault and you should apologise. You are undoubtedly to blame and you should apologise. She thinks she's the cat's whiskers. She thinks she's the bee's knees. When it comes to timekeeping, he's the world's worst. Jack is so rude, he really takes a biscuit. Jo wants to have her cake and eat it.
A. Positive feelings, moods and states.
Maria seems to be on cloud 9 these days.
Everyone seemed to be in high spirits.
She seems to be keeping her chin up.
Jo's as happy as Larry. Jo's as happy as can be.
B. Negative feelings, moods and states.
He had a long face.
She certainly looked down in the dumps.
Zach is in a bad mood.
Martin was like a bear with a sore head. See Unit 97.
Alice threw a wobbly the other day.
C. Physical feelings and states.
I'm feeling done in.
You're looking a bit under the weather.
She looked and felt on top form.
I suddenly felt my head was spinning.
I was almost at death's door last week.
Old Nora's as fit as a fiddle.
D. Fear or fright.
She was scared stiff.
She frightened the life out of him.
We were all shaking in our boots. We were all shaking in our shoes.
The poor lad was scared out of his wits.
I jumped out of my skin when I heard the bang.
E. Other expressions for actions and feelings.
Capricorn, 21st of the 12th to the 19th of the 1st. Don't get carried away by promises that won't be kept. Keep a cool head and take everything as it comes. On the work front, things are looking up. Taurus, 21st of the 4th to the 20th of the 5th. If someone says something that makes you swell with pride and feel on top of the world, enjoy the moment.
A. Types of problems and difficulties.
There are many words for different types of difficulties. Chaos is a state of total confusion, where there is no order at all. A disaster is an event which causes great harm or damage. If you are facing a dilemma or are in a dilemma, you are in a situation where you have to make a difficult decision between two things.
The earthquake was a dreadful disaster for the country. The transport system was in chaos for some time afterwards. The government were faced with a dilemma: start reconstruction work at once, or wait until the likelihood of aftershocks had passed.
To be in a fix means be in a difficult situation.
To be in a tight corner means be in a situation that is hard to get out of.
To be in a muddle means be confused or mixed up.
The word challenge puts a positive slant on a problem situation in that it focuses on the fact that it needs great mental or physical effort in order to be done successfully, and therefore tests a person's ability.
B. Specific difficulties.
You can be badly affected by all sorts of things, from those that are mildly irritating to the intensely annoying.
Your plans may be disrupted.
Negotiations or a building may collapse.
You can be deprived of something you value.
Someone's heart can be broken.
Your life may lack something that you would like.
The nouns related to the words in this section are affect, irritant or irritation, annoyance, disruption, collapse, deprivation, heartbreak, and lack.
C. Idioms about dealing with problems and difficulties.
To take a back seat. Opposite, to take the bull by the horns.
To stir things up. Opposite, to pour oil on troubled waters.
I can't face the thought of clearing up all this mess today. I can't face clearing up all this mess today.
I thought it would be best just to lay my cards on the table.
This has to be done by next week. We must get our act together before it's too late. Informal.
We need a proper investigation to get to the bottom of things.
It's quite difficult to get people to sit up and take notice.
I'm trying to get a grasp of what's happening. It's not easy.
D. Idioms relating to changes in problem situations.
The tide has turned for us. Better days are ahead.
We can see the light at the end of the tunnel at last.
I'm afraid we've just come to a dead end with our plans.
I think I've reached a turning point in my career.
The government and the unions have buried the hatchet for the time being.
All that trouble last year was just swept under the carpet in the end.